Simon Bridges has been toppled as the leader of the National Party, with the caucus installing a relative unknown, Todd Muller, to take over heading into the election. The coup played out behind closed doors at Parliament today. Here's our Deputy Political Editor, Craig McCulloch.
You may have only just learned his name. Now you better get used to it. The new leader of the opposition.
Who is Todd Muller?
Who is Todd Muller? The Bay of Plenty MP taking the stage after a brutal showdown behind doors. At noon, Simon Bridges entered the room as Nationals leader. An hour later, Todd Muller held the crown. And a new job to win over New Zealanders.
I'm a dad, I've got 3 kids, I'm a Bay of Plenty boy, I'm a Tupuna boy.
He is probably the most decent person I know.
His deputy, Nikki Kay, at his side, the 2 victors, the new look National. They may have backstabbed their leader, but they're promising a less bloodthirsty style.
First and foremost, I'm about what's best for you and your family, not what's wrong with the government. I'm not interested in opposition for opposition's sake. We're all tired of that kind of politics.
It even came with an acknowledgement of the government's efforts in recent months, words hard to imagine ever coming out of Mr Bridges' mouth.
I am the first to admit that and acknowledge that the government's handling of COVID-19 was overall impressive.
But don't think it'll be a soft-touch opposition, Mr Muller giving a hint of the angle he'll be pushing on the campaign trail.
The problem with this government is they've got 2 or 3 strong performers and 17 empty seats in cabinet.
For now, though, it's the seats in his own caucus he has to worry about.
It's been a heck of a ride.
The defeated duo, Simon Bridges and Paula Bennett, bowing out gracefully, but no word of what they'll do next. It's unlikely Mrs Bennett will remain campaign chair, but will they stay to fight the election?
Obviously, these are things for the future, and look, I'll think all of that through.
Mr Bridges still has his strong supporters in caucus, and Mr Muller has a huge job winning them over, pulling together a party which remains bitterly divided. It was so close heading into the vote, neither side was certain they had it. Indeed, some in Bridges' camp were openly dismissive of Mr Muller's pitch.
There are 2 left-wing parties in Parliament. We don't need a third.
The whole process was dishonourable and disrespectful to who we are.
We are a family, and in families we have at times siblings scrap a bit. We have had that, we've resolved it. The feeling in that caucus was incredibly unified and focused on the task at hand.
And most of his colleagues were staying on message following the outcome.
Get on and fight the election now.
Well, I'm certainly united behind the National Party.
The caucus is united moving forward to the election.
Looking forward to getting on the campaign trail.
And we all get on pretty well, and I think we'll certainly unite behind a new leadership team.
It's not for no reason they call it the toughest job in politics. 4 months now to the election. Nothing will have prepared him for this. From Parliament for Checkpoint, Craig McCulloch.